Hey, in today's video, I'm gonna give you a very simple step-by-step process so that you can finally reach your ambitious goals. I've been struggling with this my entire life, but I finally found the method that works for me to structure my goals and actually achieve them, and I'm gonna share it with you today. Let's go through this right now. It is separated in 3 different steps: the long-term goal, the short-term goal, and your weekly actions. Let's go about how they actually work. So your long-term goal is the ultimate goal you want to reach. Let's say you want to create a business, right? We'll take an example and go with it throughout the entire video. You want to build a business and go from zero to having $3,000 a month in profit in about a year. So this will be the long-term goal. Now, how do you actually get to those $3,000 a month? This is the hard question. Like, everybody's ambitious and wants to build a business and do things like that. But how do you get from point A to point B, right? Well, you first have to divide your long-term goal into smaller short-term goals. These goals need to be accomplishable but still ambitious, and we're going to talk about like how they actually expand over time, because you'll see that there's a really interesting philosophy around this. But first, what is the weekly actions? The weekly actions would be things you have to accomplish every single week that align with your long-term goal. So the things that you do weekly should align with the long-term goal, not the short-term results. The reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want you guys to start doing things that don't align with your values and with what you want to reach. Because let's say that on month number 6, you're supposed to be making $1,000 a month. I'm just taking this as an example. You don't want to be taking small steps and making kind of like a little bit of side hustles everywhere so that you make a little bit of money there, a little bit of money there, so you can finally reach this 1,000. The weekly steps are not based on results. These are based on actions. What am I supposed to do this week so that my goal, like I'm aligning my vision and my path to the long-term goal. So for example, if you want to build a business and grow and make more money, more profits, one of the weekly action you can do is try to speak with 10 different persons about my business, see if they're interested or not. So this is not based around results, like I don't need to make $200 this week so that I'm on the right path. No. I need to speak to 10 people and tell them about my business. The results will then come after. Of course, you want your weekly actions to be like very important steps that align with your vision and that make you grow. But you don't want them to be based on results, because over the short term, it can be really like discouraging, first of all, to not making money, for example, in this case, or it also puts you in a position where you will be making different tweaks here and there so that you reach this goal that is not aligning with your long-term goal, that is going to hurt you somewhere else in the journey. So the first step is making those weekly actions that are achievable, making actual progress, not based on results, and things you can actually accomplish in 1 week, right? Once you have those things implemented, you have to then divide, as I said, your long-term goal into short-term goals. If the goal is in 1 year from now, let's just divide it month by month, right? So you'll have 12 short-term goals. I don't want you to take a linear approach to this, because your progress, your growth is not going to be a single like straight line. It's going to be an exponential like growth. The first results that you're gonna get are gonna be very, very small, even inexistent in some cases. And I want you to understand that you have to get the ball rolling, you have to do things right. It can take you maybe 6 months to get your first client. That doesn't mean that what you're doing is not important and not working, right? So if your goal is to make $3,000 in profit in 1 month, in your first month, I want you to be like, okay, I'm gonna earn $0. Month 2, $0. Month 3, $0. Month 4, $100, $150, somewhere around this. A little step, right? A little thing in the right path. The reason why I want you to take this approach is because we don't see linear growth in business, in achieving goals and things like that. It's never linear. Even in the gym, it's not linear. It's actually stopping slowly over time and like slowing down over time. It's the opposite most of the time with business. It's actually accelerating over time, right? So the more consistent you are, the more regularly you show up, the more it's gonna grow in the future. And I want you to expect low results for the first few months. Whatever the goal is, except if it's fitness, as I said, but whatever the goal is, I want you to take small steps first. And the important thing to understand is that the weekly actions that we already talked about are going to be the important thing you need to focus on at first. Are you actually doing your weekly actions? Are you actually achieving the goal that you put yourself every single week? Are you calling 10 people to speak about your business? Are you trying to reach new clients? Are you doing the things that you should be doing to align with your long-term goal? If you're not doing this with your weekly actions, the entire rest of the project doesn't work. And I can assure you that as long as you take the right weekly actions and you do the work weekly, you'll see the growth in the future. And I want you to really focus on this first, then the short-term goals, then the long-term goal. The long-term goal should be just a vision, something that is always in your mind and something where you should ask yourself like, is the thing that I'm doing right now aligning with the long-term goal? If it isn't, then you should not do it. And if it is, just continue and improve upon it. And I know that this structure kind of seems very easy, but that's because it is. And that's why it's so effective. The way you divide your objectives, your actions, the things you're gonna do and the things you want to reach is actually how you actually gonna achieve the thing in the long term. So this is exactly the mentality that I want you guys to have. Focus on your long-term vision, divide it into smaller steps, see an exponential growth, not a linear growth, and take weekly actions. If you take this structure and implement it to what you're doing right now, except with the gym, as I said, it's gonna work. I can assure you it's gonna work. And of course, when I say that a long-term goal is in 1 year from now, this is just for beginners. If it's the first time for you actually using this technique, maybe 1 year seems like long-term. The reality of business and our world is that long-term is at least 5 years from now. So this can apply to very long-term goal. And that's the thing I want you to do. The first time you actually manage to reach your first long-term goal of 1 year, then increase the time to something like 5 years. It's gonna be very interesting to see if you can actually catch up to the growth all the time, because with exponential growth, it's really like interesting to see the results. And I don't want you to focus on very short-term results, but on your short-term divided goals, right? I don't want you to focus on the results weekly. This is not something we should care about. Let's say you make YouTube videos and your last video didn't make many views, so you're a little bit upset. Well, at least you uploaded the video. It's not about the fact that you didn't get subscribers, you didn't make money or something like that. It's the fact that you actually put in the work. Next time you're gonna put in the work, but you're gonna improve upon it, so it's gonna get better and better and better and better over time. So that's why you see the long-term growth, right? So that's pretty much everything I want to say for today. I hope this is gonna be very helpful to you guys. And you can go and watch other videos on the channel. I speak about self-improvement, nutrition, mental health a lot, physical health, all of these things that are really interesting to all of people in self-improvement. So go and watch those videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.